Alright, so here's the video we're watching now. We don't even need to watch it, I can break it down for you. But we'll watch a little tiny bit of it, just because if I talk nicely to begin with, and obviously this officer is not talking nicely. If I talk nicely to begin with, I am ignored until I act like this cop. Now, what's the difference between this cop and myself? People make every excuse why it's somehow okay for this guy to be like this. Let me tell you something about Officer Waylon Lolatai in Boulder, Colorado. He assaulted a man in Denver and had a choice basically between going to jail or being transferred to another department. So he started working in Boulder, Colorado, where he assaulted me to try to help frame me for Natalie Bollinger's death. It didn't matter what the truth was. What mattered is how people chose to paint it. Now let's see what this officer has to say. It's obviously not nice things. This guy really likes him, obviously. You know, a lot of the situation with the cops, though, what you got to understand is that this cop who is doing this stuff guaranteed would have beaten the living fuck out of me if I'd have treated him that way. Guaranteed. If I went into a courtroom, let alone before Congress, I certainly wouldn't be allowed to do this. However, that's also not something that I'm just going to go do. Somebody has to do it to me in order for me to use it as an example. And there are many things that people have done to me that I'm not willing to do. I'm not willing to stalk people. I'm not willing to run around chasing people down who can't run away. I literally can't run. I got a lot of paperwork from hospitals showing that I went in there for injuries due to the abuse. I got a lot of evidence of the phone calls that I made to 911 and also to non-emergency, but I got arrested for improper use of 911 for calling non-emergency because people were vandalizing my things and assaulting me, threatening my life, threatening my sister's life, in real life and on the internet. And of course, all of these investigators that want to talk over me want to pretend that this abuse is only on the internet. Isn't that surprising? Oh, you didn't tell me about any of that other stuff. Well, first of all, if you talk over me so I can't tell you, that's not my fault. Second of all, if I do tell you and you selectively choose not to remember it, that's, again, not my fault. Now let's hear what this guy has to say, and then we'll look at how many people want to pretend that I'm out to kill them because I cursed about being assaulted and threatened and denied all of my rights as a human being. Well, they say that it doesn't matter what I said. What matters is how these people, quote unquote, feel about it. The fact is that when I have actual evidence, which my predators don't, I have actual evidence of physical assaults against me. They're posted in public for God and everybody to see. And then you want to pretend that I'm angry for no reason, or you want to pretend that I'm a pedophile or a rapist or a murderer. But meanwhile, I've never been charged with any of those things. There's also the fact that nobody has ever accused me of doing those things to them. In all of this time, not one person, not even one, has come forward to accuse me of sexually assaulting them. Not one. Not one piece of evidence from Natalie shows that she made any such claim either. But yet you get to hear what people are claiming while they're assaulting me. They're using Natalie Bollinger's death as an excuse to be predatory towards me. And I can't turn it in because I'll get treated like I'm schizophrenic and delusional. I'll be arrested for improper use of 911. I'll be sent around in circles. Now let's press play on this.
So we can see his face here in the bottom corner. And then this is Finown right here.
This guy was a cop. He claims he fights Nazis. Oh, gee. All of a sudden he fights Nazis. No, the cops are Nazis. All right? UN houses are so pampered. But those of us on the streets, this stuff that you're complaining about, how you were denied your rights, or how they're trying to deny our rights of habeas corpus, that's your right to show up to court. That's your right to show up to your court dates. And guess what, folks? I have been denied my habeas corpus repeatedly, intentionally lied to about my court dates, intentionally not notified about my court dates, and of course, being incarcerated to prevent me from going to my court dates. And then I have to find some money as a disabled person who's being ripped off for all of my money and it being sent around to a bunch of different agencies that takes a lot of time and a lot of money. Meanwhile, I'm expected to gather up all of this evidence and get it to who it's supposed to go to, and everybody that I'm going to is telling me that it's not their job. There is literally nobody for a disabled homeless man to turn in abuse to. They will go out of their way to ignore it.
Why do you have to swear at me? What's that? Why do you have to swear at me?
And see, that congressman's an asswipe too. They're both asswipes and they're both Nazis. Both of them. There is no way in hell, after everything that I have been through, that I am going to believe that there is even one cop out there that does not hunt homeless people. And I'm not talking about hunting with a rifle like you're going out hunting a deer. I'm talking about they know that there are people that nobody gives a shit about and don't have the money for a civil lawyer, and they know that their coworkers aren't going to fucking investigate any goddamn crime they commit against a fucking homeless person. Nobody gives a shit about the homeless. You have a bad day, you didn't get a BJ, well shit, there's always a homeless person to take it out on. Your daddy is fucking raping you, and obviously you can't run away because you're underage. Well, fucking go take it out on a homeless person. Nobody cares. Your husband is fucking beating on you, but he's also paying the rent. You obviously aren't able to pay the rent or the mortgage with what you're earning, so you got to stick with him until you can save up some money. Well, shit, you're frustrated and you're stuck in that situation and you take that shit every day. Why don't you take it out on somebody? Well, shit, nobody cares about the homeless. Fuck, go pick somebody who seems like they're schizophrenic. And if they try to turn you in, who cares? Just call them mentally ill. Nobody's going to fucking believe them. They're a goddamn hobo. Just pretend you saw them doing some fucking drugs. They're not even going to bother letting him have a whiz quiz to prove he's not on drugs. They're just going to take your word for it and arrest the son of a bitch. Being homeless in America is worse than being an immigrant in America. Donald Trump isn't going after the rapists and the murderers, because if he was going after the rapists and the murderers, he wouldn't be fucking deporting them. If they're killing people here in the United States, they should be in American prisons. Not sent to a country where they can easily bribe their way out and come right back here again. Dangerous criminals. Just because somebody has brown skin and is from another country doesn't mean that they're dangerous. The fact is, every single person on this planet is dangerous. Everybody is capable of hatred. Everybody's capable of love. I do desperate shit because I love my friends and family, and although they were too big of cowards to come forward about being threatened, well, you know what? That's what makes me not believe them. instead of helping to turn in the abuse like they promised, and instead of turning in the threats against their children, which any real parent would do. What do these people do to me? They use their kids as an excuse to dip out, claiming their kids are being threatened. But then they never come forward about it. They tell me that police officers are getting a hold of them and harassing them. But they never turn it in. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If somebody's harming your kid, you're not going to tell your kid, oh, well, I don't know how to turn that in. If somebody harmed your kid, are you going to listen to a mandatory reporter who's telling you that it's no longer a problem because it happened 20 minutes ago? You're safe now, so nobody has to do anything? Are you going to accept that? Fuck no, you're not.
Dude, don't pretend like we're not mortal enemies. Well, why do you have to lose your cool like that? I've been always professional with you.
Oh, yes, so if you're always professional with them, it somehow makes it because if you maintain your composure, the cursing is somehow wrong. No. I don't know that cop. I know that because he's a cop, I can't trust him. But I don't know the specifics of the situation between him and that senator, and I don't have any more respect for that senator than I do for that cop. I do know that if I'm cursed at like that, nobody cares. But if I curse at somebody like that, shit, I'd have been removed from the fucking room immediately. I'd have been removed from the courtroom, and this guy's speaking before fucking Congress. And he was an outbursting motherfucker through all of it. Meanwhile, when I had to go to a Joseph Michael Lopez court date, I minded my P's and Q's through all of it. Didn't have any outbursts in there either. But guess who did? Ted Bollinger came in and threw a big fucking tantrum about me being there. I wasn't just there to see Joseph Michael Lopez. I was there to turn in the police officers in Natalie Bollinger's case. And I was there to turn in the Bollinger family. And I was illegally prevented from doing so. It's not okay. Now, this guy right here, how many people do you think he has harmed for talking to people like that? How many homeless people do you think get away with talking like that to another person? How many homeless people in a courtroom would get away with that? None. Absolutely none.
Single time I can with you, I am always professional with you. And other
Now, have I done that? Have I said exactly what he's saying in exactly that tone of voice? Absolutely, I have. And I get told that I deserve the abuse. How dare I talk like that to a police officer? How dare I talk like that to a pedophile? Regardless of the fact that they were victimizing me at the time. How dare I? But a police officer, it's okay. It's okay for police officers to treat us in a way that they're not being treated. This officer is not being fucking shackled and tackled. This is what we call privileged. This guy all of a sudden wants to pretend that he's anti-fascist. He's got that anti-Nazi shirt on, but you know what? He's still a police officer. He will still break the law to cover up for the crimes of his fellow officers if that crime is committed against a homeless person. Guaranteed. They might break the blue line of BS if it's a black person in a house. or a white lesbian in a house, they might give a shit if it's a minority who's harmed, but then again, the homeless are a minority. We account for 0.18% of the population. The black population is much higher than that and accounts for less of the deaths brought forth by police officers. The majority of the people that police officers kill are homeless. The majority are homeless. The majority are men. The majority are disabled. Those are the top three categories, and I happen to fit all three.
To contain your Tourette's syndrome. Okay?
All right, now, that's not a joke. I've been diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome. Now, first of all, we got the senator wanting to crack jokes and be demeaning towards this police officer. This is my reality. I do have Tourette's syndrome, but I don't do that. I wink funny, and I do funny stuff with my wrists. And I have vocal tics that basically you guys, I don't know what the hell you assign it to, but I'm sure you've noticed them. The nasal thing, that's for the most part a vocal tic, but also it's something that if I got a cold, it's even worse. The eyeball blinking thing. Well, I get treated like I'm a crackhead for that. I actually have Tourette's syndrome. I've actually been diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome. I was diagnosed with it at 7 years old.
You've threatened my family. You've threatened my life. You're a traitor to this country.
Oh. See, that officer, he sounds exactly like me, doesn't he? How many people have threatened my family and threatened my life? How many? And how many times have I threatened them back? How many times have I threatened them unsolicited? Absolutely none. There were 2 occasions where I threatened people. And I did those things specifically to get a court date. The first one was to try to turn in Ted Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, and the police in Natalie Bollinger's case. That was just before the situation where I had to go to Joseph Michael Lopez's court to try to do that. These people absolutely did threaten my family. Not just over the internet, but in person. And all of these mandatory reporters want to pretend that I was only telling them about harassment on the internet. No, I wasn't. They didn't want to fucking listen. They wanted to interrupt me and talk over me and tell me it was unfucking important. Now look at the conduct of both of these men. Meanwhile, I'm an autistic disabled adult and a victim of these pieces of crap. No, not these 2 specifically. But this is a police officer. This isn't a human being. The moment they put on that badge, they're not being a person. They're a government goon at that point. They're just as much of a gang as the Crips or the Bloods, except they have more power and more access.
Why so spasmodic? I'm spasmodic.
Oh, and he just told him to go kill himself. Now, of course, if I tell people that, and I've had many, many people tell me to do that. Now, if I tell other people to do that, well, I'll be fucking arrested. You're not allowed to do it back. You're not allowed to threaten them back. They're only allowed to threaten you. It only happens one way. They're allowed to threaten you, and you have to take it. That's as simple as it is. I'm surprised this senator hasn't already called that dude mentally ill 30 times to try to justify his bullshit.
Look behind you. Do something. Why should I? I'm communicating with you. Trying to calm
See, now he's trying to be intimidating. He's doing the arm cross. Anybody who's had to deal with these cops. And look, he's tatted up like a fucking prison junkie. He wants to look tough and act tough. There is no difference between this POS and a neo-Nazi. There is no difference between this POS and an ICE agent. There is absolutely no difference. He just happens to be a target at this point in time, and he certainly doesn't like being treated the way that police treat the homeless. Oh, he doesn't like it back, does he? Well, he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. So does the senator. They can both have at it. Now, my question is, why isn't either one of them being removed? Why is it that this guy, first of all, is allowed to make that much of a disruption and allowed to keep on confronting the senator and stepping closer and crossing his arms and making, well, they're not direct threats, they are indirect threats. But he's trying to instigate a fight. This is what cops do. At this point in time, this guy is showing his true colors. He is showing exactly the kind of behavior that he would not tolerate from a homeless person. And he's also showing exactly how he would step up on a homeless person. This is disgusting. Neither one of them are in the right. They're both Nazis. Neither one of them care about our rights as human beings. Hell, both of those gentlemen, I am absolutely 100% certain between looking at my evidence and helping to turn it in or helping to suppress it, I am 100% certain that both of those guys would help to suppress it if I went to them for help.
Right?
Okay, I'm just gonna pause it real quick right there. This guy already immediately hate this guy, right? Ray Clinton sounds like a piece of shit. He just is a huge freaking asshole. They're just like, oh, you're being spasmodic. It's like, okay, what is this guy's deal? He's just like, is he like stalking Fanone right here and just like causing, like trying to cause? He's trying to cause a scene, right? He's trying to get a reaction.
It's okay for the cops to do this. Now, he's doing it for attention, but why does he need that attention? Why does he feel justified in committing crimes in there to try to get attention? Could it possibly be because people are accusing him of doing stuff that he didn't do? Could it possibly be that because when there were thousands of people storming the White House, he was sent there as an officer? In that one situation, this officer was doing what an officer is supposed to do. There was an armed insurrection at the White House. They blamed him for it. Well, the police. And this officer is, in my personal opinion, and mind you, it's just an opinion, but I think he's justified in being pissed off. Also, with people threatening his family, you've gotten to see actual threats against my family. What? I'm not talking about piddly-ass crap like what this cop here is doing. Porque pig or whatever. I'm talking about people telling me that they're going to rape my sister with a fence post if I don't claim that I killed Natalie. Or telling me that they are going to send me pictures of my niece. That they're going to dismember my niece and send me pictures of their cock in her gutted chest. And I'm looking for the phone that actually has that on there so you can see it for yourself. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you the message to Kylie Petrie showing that that's what I started off with. It's not my fault that they sent me a landline to send evidence to. And the conversation with Kylie Petrie shows that she said it's a landline. She also did not give me a phone number to send her evidence to. We're supposed to basically do absolutely nothing until next week. That doesn't make any sense. People telling me to blow my head off, people telling me to go kill myself. If I say any of those things, I'll end up in court. So here it is. Kylie, the TFCC investigator, and we spoke about this. It says, this message right here. This is a threat against my little sister and my niece. It says, hello again, Sean. I'm going to kill and rape your sister's kid and take a pic of my cock in its open gutted rib cage. Since you're a pedo, it might turn you on, but you still be sad that I killed your sis and her kid, though, I hope. No one would miss you if you were dead. I could easily find that library and wait for you. Wake up, homeless, rat-eating N-word. Just wait, it's almost summer and I'll have my paid time off. I think I could FR kill you. I will indeed get you or your sister if you don't contact me. TBH, give yourself up, Sean. Give me your address and you can save your sister. You gay. Please, it'll be okay. Sean, just kill yourself already. These are all towards me. Oh, by the way, there's a bunch more. I was told to send the screenshots. I was told to send the videos. Oh, here's a good one. Let's see, where's the one with, I believe it's this one. You see how many restricted phone calls there are? Hold up. There's more. Here's one zoomed in so you can see. Look at this one. It says restricted. 70 calls at 6:14. Like 70 calls in 1 minute. And then there's another one at 6:14. And then 40 more by 6:47. And another 4 at 6:47. And then another 18 still at 6. That's at 6:49. I mean, yeah, there's evidence of this stuff actually happening to me. Stuff that this officer certainly would not like. See, these people are pretending I'm a pedophile, being racist, being homophobic, and also threatening to kill me. Might I remind you that because they're calling me these names, it does constitute a hate crime. Oh, I was also told to type the things that people were saying to me, and if I have it recorded, send the recording. Here's the message from my little sister. I'm here. I literally paid her $100 an hour to come help me, by the way. So she came there. She said that she made it home safely when she left. I typed very good. She typed, I was followed by some cops, then had some guy threaten me that if I don't walk away now, me and Destiny are going to get hurt or even killed. And of course, the first thing I did was go live about it on my YouTube channel because cops, obviously we were trying to turn in cops. We were trying to turn in Scott DaCosta again and Leslie Snell, his secretary, as well as her husband, and Carl Snell, and a lot of other people. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people that were involved in this. When I moved to Chapel, Nebraska, I had to deal with it there. When I went to Wyoming, I had to deal with it there. When I came here to Oregon, again, I had to deal with it. That's my reality. Let me play a recording for you because, like I said, I didn't just send the screenshots. Here's a audio of one of the threats against my life. Shit, the volume. All right, we'll start it over from the beginning.
PC, I'll stab you right in your fucking eyeball and show your fucking ass. My fucking heartbeat. Never.
So, what do you think? You think those are delusions, or does that look pretty real to you? There's some more too. So they claimed that I had threatened Kylie's life, and she admitted that I never threatened her life. There's also, like I said, multiple videos of how the situation started, conversations. Here's another one. It says, your homeless head is very shiny today. It's brighter than your future, Sean. XOXO. I'ma kill you, boy. Minecraft style. There's only me and someone else watching. No one cares about Andrew Wolnez, and no one is ever going to get arrested over you, Sean. You know it. And the deep back part of your brain, this is all for nothing. Now, obviously, here's examples of more stuff that I had to deal with. Over that Scott DaCosta situation. This is from mental health specialist in Nebraska, Marcia Estrada, stating very clearly that I am not schizophrenic or delusional. There's also the evidence that the people that I tried to turn in worked together to try to press false charges on me. I was in prison for 7 months awaiting misdemeanor charges because I tried to turn in felonies committed by Scott DaCosta, Robert Franklin Warnick, William Barr, and Leslie Snell. And these are the dismissals. That's right, they had to dismiss them all because somehow, magically, these police officers lost all of their recorded evidence. They lost their evidence. Of course, their body cameras showed that they fucking assaulted me all George Floyd style. Shows that they lied about the situation. Shows that I was trying to turn in Scott DaCosta for crimes that he and his deputies were committing. And they retaliated against him for it. That's not okay.
Because Raikkonen knows that he is one of these agitator MAGA folk who are just trying to make, this guy, whatever, woke lefties look crazy. But it's not working because even though...
Woke lefties. Well, that dude isn't a lefty. He's a police officer. He's not a lefty. Anybody who doesn't agree with you, you just slander their name. And then, of course, when they defend themselves, you pretend that they're horrible people. When they get defensive, you pretend that they're out to hurt people. This guy's out to fucking bulk himself up and try to make himself as intimidating as possible and try to start a fight and instigate a fight in Congress. This is exactly what they do to homeless people. Now I'm wanting to see if he gets arrested. Looks like someone's got their arms around him.
He's not getting violent. He's just saying, fuck yourself, right? This guy freaking blew.
But if I say go fuck yourself, you'll pretend that I'm threatening to kill you. All of a sudden, I'm apparently committing a hate crime for telling people who are threatening to kill me and threatening to rape my sister with a fence post and threatening to cut off my niece's head and send me pictures of their cock and her gutted chest. Yeah, this is shit that obviously, is this guy having to deal with all this? If he is, well, shit. I'll show up at his door, and even though I'm not supposed to have guns, I'm willing to stand at his front door with a firearm to protect his family, if that's actually happening. And that's because if he's got a family, he's got kids, and their lives are being fucking threatened, well, shit, yes, I'm willing to fucking give up my life for some kids. I never said that I would point that gun at anybody. I also never said that it would be a real one. But that's not what matters at that point, is it? The way I look at it, if ICE shows up and shoots me for standing there with a fake gun in front of this guy's house, well, it might kill me, but it'll give his family a chance to duck and cover or pick up a real rifle and fucking defend themselves. Now, is this realistically something that's going to happen? No. No, this guy is not going to ask me to step out onto his porch and stand there to protect his family. course, if there were more of him, I'd ask him to take his firearm, step over onto my little sister's front porch and protect mine. Because that's his goddamn job. These people didn't just threaten to kill my family. They approached my family in person. Police officers, cops did this.